Welcome back. It's finally Friday, and today we're going to wrap up our series on Joseph. After Jacob had blessed Pharaoh, he and his family were given the best of the land in Egypt, and Joseph took care of them. Jacob had then blessed Joseph and his two sons. Then he had all of his sons, all 12 of his sons, before he died. He gave them a blessing. The Egyptians mourned for Jacob when he died for 70 days, and then Pharaoh allowed Joseph and all of his family to take Jacob's body back to the land of Canaan for burial. In Genesis 50 verses 15, we're going to read, "When Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, 'Perhaps Joseph will hate us, and may actually repay us for all the evil we did to him.' So they sent messengers to Joseph, saying, 'Before your father died, he commanded, saying, Thus you shall say to Joseph, I beg you, please forgive the trespasses of your brothers and their sin. For they did evil to you. Now please forgive the trespasses of the servants of the God of your father.' And Joseph wept when they spoke to him." Obviously, his brothers are still afraid of Joseph and receiving justice for what they had done to him. Joseph had already told them not to fear. He had already given them gifts and foods and land, and yet they were still afraid. Verse 18, "Then his brothers also went and fell down before his face, and they said, 'Behold, we are your servants.' Joseph said to them, 'Do not be afraid, for am I in the place of God? But as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, in order to bring it about, as it is this day, to save many people alive. Now therefore do not be afraid. I will provide for you and your little ones.' And he comforted them and spoke kindly to them." To me, this is one of the most awesome passages in all the Old Testament. So often we want to play God with our lives as well as the lives of others. Obviously, we need rules, we need laws, we need consequences, yet when someone wrongs us, we want them to suffer, and we're more than willing to assist God in bringing that reality to pass for them. Joseph was so humble that he simply pointed out that any consequences for their actions against him would have to come from God. He was going to forgive them, even though what they had did to him caused much pain and much suffering. Secondly, like we talked about before, Joseph looked at life through God's perspective, and he accepted even the evil done to him by his brothers as part of God's plan to bring about good. Now that's a difficult concept, but it is a spiritual principle in God's Word. Good not only to the multitudes of others that God would bring, but good even to his brothers who initially meant harm to Joseph. And as you're facing struggles and difficulties, and perhaps even being done wrong, I hope you will cling to God's hope, cling to his perspective, knowing that the Bible promises that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. God bless you, and I hope you have an awesome weekend.